let's talk about Superman. I'm curious your thoughts, and I'm excited to share my thoughts. But before we get to either of those, because it was his first time watching it,
Yeah.
Ryan, I want to shoot over to you. You just saw Superman the movie for the first time ever. How do you feel initially?
Again, yeah, I thought I'd seen it. I'd seen number 2, so I'd seen Christopher Reeve play Superman. I'd seen Superman 3, and I hadn't seen this one. I really think this one.
Now, Ryan,
Yes.
in your defense, buddy,
Yeah.
1 and 2 are filmed together, and they have a very similar tone. So you wouldn't be wrong in thinking you saw 1 when you saw 2, because Zod and them are in Superman the movie. They go to the Phantom Zone, and it's the second movie they would get released.
He is wrong.
What?
He is wrong. He didn't see 1. You said he wouldn't be wrong. I mean, he was.
You know what I mean. Like,
But
I
you
could
get
see
why. You get
I
why.
get why.
But
Yeah,
it's still
I think
wrong.
It's an understandable misunderstanding.
It's understandable guffaw.
Mistake. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you
So
go, Ryan. I'm trying to defend you,
know,
Ryan. Fine, I won't.
I think this is a 70s movie that you can tell like this was a very magical piece of entertainment that came out during the time. I still think there are a lot of magical moments. I think Christopher Reeve, there's something even today looking at his performance that's just really hopeful and inspiring and just kind of puts a smile on your face. But we've been inundated with over 100 comic book movies since this come out, like maybe even over 100. And there are some things that it doesn't look great, it doesn't hold up as well, but there is that magic there and that sense of care that you could tell Donner put in. And I really liked it. I didn't love it though.
Okay.
I think that, like you're saying, it's challenging when we have advanced, especially tech-wise and performance-wise. Not saying that their performances aren't great, but the way that we perform now, the way we're taught to perform, or the way that you direct is different now. It's just a completely different time period. I was kind of surprised with how much it reminded me of Star Wars. I didn't remember feeling like that they had similar vibes to them, but it did. It reminded me, and Ryan, I know you're a big Star Wars person, but it reminded me of Episode 4. It did, kind of in tone at some points, and when we would go into space and visually what some things looked like. I have to say that I don't remember liking this movie as much as I liked it last night when I watched it. I was so impressed by it. Everybody who watches the show knows that I have Man of Steel issues, major issues with that movie. That I think that the dog situation bothers me to no end. And I think it's just always
him saving the dad. You save the dog instead.
The dad, dog. Who do you go back to save? How do you save? You don't want to save the dad. Goes to save the dog, then the dad dies. I think it's just such a stronger choice. It's such a stronger choice to make it so that Superman not chooses not to, cannot save his dad. And I loved that about this movie. It's so funny because I was like, am I giving spoilers for Superman? No. Well, spoilers on Superman 1978.
Oh, I did a comment about some movie that came out 2 years ago, and someone on Twitter was like, spoilers, Mike. I'm like, nope, came out 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't give an F.
So I just think it's such a stronger choice that he says it, at the funeral, like, with all my powers, there's nothing I could do. And that shows that everybody is vulnerable. I thought I loved that. And I also, Mike, I know I've talked to you before about my qualms with Lois, but I will say she was awesome in this movie. She's awesome. I like this Lois better than our current Lois, and not the actors, because I don't think that's fair, but just the iterations.
I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I was much more impressed. There was a love to this and an easiness about watching this film that I just really enjoyed. Mike, I don't even know, though, your thoughts. Superman, how do you feel?
Let's talk about this, Roxy, because here we go. I am, for one, do not worship at the altar of Richard Donner's Superman. I saw it not when it first came out. I was too young. I was too into Star Wars and Flash Gordon in the late 70s, early 80s. Superman, I think I got into with Superman 2. This film, the first half of it is great for me. The first half is great. As a Superman fan, even as a kid, and now as we get older, and so many people revere this film, yet bash every other iteration of Superman. And I look at it and I go, the fact that the man turned back Earth
Yeah.
created a power out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Loses me. The fact that Luther wears a wig because Gene Hackman, didn't want to be bald, like stuff like that just doesn't work in this. It can't work in the movie for me. I don't like.
I feel you.
Don't get me wrong.
Let's go over those individually, Mikey.
Okay.
Because the
All right.
first one, him turning back Earth, I feel you.
I
was watching that and I was like, what a bummer, because I get why we can't let her die, but then why did you do it? We could have just not killed her. And
Roxy,
then
to go against what I love that we're doing this because it's showing me new things. Like I love the fact now because, okay, this is here we go. Breaking news, guys. You just said, hey, I learned I can't save everybody when his dad dies.
Right.
Well, now he learns he can save everybody by turning back time and spinning the earth back.
Right.
I just found this out. Why has this not hit me before? Here we are live. That's why this movie doesn't work. You made a great point, Rox, and I was like, wow, I can't argue that. Kevin Costner dies. He could have done this. They created in this film, he cannot save everybody. Well, he proves an hour later that he can save everybody he wants. Anytime someone dies, fly back around the earth, Superman.
Yeah, I agree that
there we go.
Work.
That's why this movie does not work for me.
I know that you develop your powers as you go as superheroes.
Oh, here we go.
I'm agreeing with you.
I know
Mike.
you are, Rox. I know you are. But I know fans will say that.
I know that people do develop their powers as they go. However, these were very close to each other. We're not talking about two different movies. We're not talking about like he's gone to superhero camp and he's been. Well, I mean, he does.
It's like I think he's 18 when his dad dies, and it's 30 when he shows up in Metropolis. So it's 12 years.
All right.
They don't establish that, but that's what it is.
That's true. Okay, that makes a little more sense. But still, I feel like maybe
he has that power now.
Maybe try to do that. We just didn't need to kill her. We didn't need that moment.
No.
I don't know. I just. That didn't really fully work for me. But at the same time, I'm trying to think about watching this in the 70s.
Sure. And I get
somebody do that. And that would be like, oh my God.
You're right. You're
and it would be a completely different reveal. But today it's like, that's kind of a cop out.
You're 100% right, Roxy. I agree. Like, and again, the first half of the film is all of his stuff on Smallville and the way that they shoot it. And they kind of use this kind of like sepia tone to the film. It just works for me. There's so much. Glenn Ford is his dad. It just works. There's a scene, like the scene with him and Lois on the balcony where she's interviewing him is brilliant. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now
with this is underwear, that was scandalous.
Yeah, like this is like I'm kind of with Ryan on this. Like 1 and 2 kind of blur together for me. I'm trying to think. I think it's in this movie where Clark Kent comes to talk to Lois, and it just shows how good Chris Reeve is because he's standing there all kind of hunched over. And he takes off his glasses and he just kind of puts his shoulders back and you're like, he turns into Superman. And it's, I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I think it's 1. It's brilliant.
No, that's in 1.
2 seconds with no dialogue. This man gives us Superman and Clark Kent. And I, again, love Clark Kent or Chris Reeve as Superman. I'm not talking against him. It's the movie itself. He is so earnest in this movie. And you saw recently, I think, I don't know if I sent it to you. Did you see the interview? It was about Clark Kent or Chris Reeve talking about Marlon Brando and working with him.
Yes, I did. Yeah, we talked about it on the show.
Yeah, and how brilliant. And now you see, because he was so into the character and he treated it like this great character. He didn't treat it like Val Kilmer treated Batman. And that's my point. When actors say there's nothing there to work with, BS. A great actor will take a great character and make it work. And Chris Reeve was a great actor before he was even really. We talk about Malin Ackerman being naive. This was his first major movie. And here he was giving us one of the most iconic performances of all time. Like, so to me, it's the fault is on the actor for not bringing something.
And I thought that Margot Kidder was really awesome too.
Yeah. And Margot Kidder was great. I think her later life and what had happened, how she went off the rails kind of tinges the character for me. It's kind of like with Marlon Brando. When I see what he became, I'm like, it hampers the actor that I see.
And everything with Christopher Reeve just makes you love him more.
Yeah. I love Christopher Reeve. I love it. It's the fault is in the movie. And again, that film was made in 1978. It's a different time period. If Chris Reeve was in a Superman movie now, night and day. So I can't fault it, but I don't worship the ground this movie walks on like a lot of people do, because I understand it's like they want to talk about, what a character does. And it's like this character at its core, the writers didn't stay true to the character. Like he doesn't turn back time. He doesn't do that. It's just never in his Batman killing or not killing.
Did you feel like they borrowed from the Flash there?
I don't know what I think they had a plot hole, and they go, how do we fix this? Spin them back time. Let's turn the Earth back. That is a writer that didn't understand the comics, never understood that Superman never did that. And it's also DC going, no, he won't do that. You know, that would never happen today in a film. So when people like bitch about Batman killing and whatnot in a Snyder's films, like, yeah, Batman killed in the comics. Batman wore a gun. You might not like it, but he did. Superman's never turned back time, as far as I know, flying around the Earth.
Right.
Like,
Ryan, I just want to check in with you for a second because I know that we're having some video issues. Power through?
Power through, guys. We might re-upload after, but keep powering.
All right, we're gonna power through.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So I'm glad that we're on the same page. I think that it sounds like to me, Mikey.
Yeah, Kit Roo.
We both appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are parts that we love, and then there are parts that's like that would not fly today.
Yeah,
because it just doesn't.
It's interesting
work
because this movie came out 12 years before Batman, and a lot of people look at Superman the movie as the beginning of the superhero film, and I don't agree. I think it was Batman. Because after Superman the movie, studios were not rushing to make the next superhero movie. They weren't inundating. We got a Swamp Thing, Supergirl, you know. It was Batman. After Batman, every studio was like, what? And they raided every comic publisher's archives, buying up property after property. The 90s for comic movies was just throw spaghetti at the wall to see what stuck. So for me, when people say Superman started the major renaissance of superheroes, I disagree 100%. It was Batman 89 that did it. Batman 89 created the media onslaught where the Bat logo was everywhere. Merchandising.
It depends on what you mean by started, because I mean, like, you can't take away what Superman did. They both have monumental impacts.
Yeah, on fandom, but not on cinema and the superhero franchise. It just didn't. I mean, I'll disagree till I'm blue in the face. You know, Superman, the logo, the S symbol was not on every single piece of merchandise after Superman the movie came out. It just wasn't.
A few more questions for you.
Let's do it.
How do you feel about all of Luthor's, about Otis, about Eve Tessmacher?
Like, for me, Otis works. Like,
what movie is Otis in? He kind of cracked me up, but
Mr.
also
Luthor,
like,
what? Mr. Luthor, and he's like, Otisburg. Oh, Mr. Tessmacher's got a place. Like, I love Ned Beatty as Otisburg, as Otis. He makes no sense. Tessmacher, it's like Luthor putting himself with these buffoons. Can we talk about that
Tessmacher kiss? What is that?
With Superman?
Yeah, what
girl wouldn't do that? Superman's helpless, but Me Too movement, Me Too.
Me Too.
That's sexual. That is sexual harassment.
He says to her, "Why did you kiss me before?" And she said, "Because I didn't think you'd kiss me after."
Right. He was helpless. He was vulnerable.
That is a lack of consent. I mean,
you damn right, Roxy. Men can be abused as well.
Of course. I mean, that would not, in 2020, you could not air that. People would lose their crap.
Guys would lose their crap and go, "Oh, see, we get abused too." I think it's great. That moment is so truthful to who she is. Of course, like the minute he walks in there, she's like, oh, she's hiding behind the chair. She's enamored by this Greek god that just walked in.
I know that we have to get out of here, but Ryan, any final thoughts on your first viewing of Superman the movie?
You guys summed it really well. I think that this movie's magical.
Oh.
I think the reason it reminded you of Star Wars is two words: John Williams. The music is phenomenal.
There you go,
it has
buddy.
a silly ending, though. A silly ending.
Thank you for bringing that up, Ryan. Ryan, thanks for bringing it up. You Roxy, one thing with, this John Williams score. And again, my faults with this movie are not faults that make it a bad movie. It's one of the greatest comic book movies of all time, I think. But I just don't revere it as this sacred text.
I know what you mean.
Piece of film that everyone does.
There are flaws. Yeah. Great point, though, Ryan. Thank you guys for talking about Superman the movie with us. Let us know how you feel in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Next week, we will be talking about Superman 2.
Let's do it.
Which Ryan has already seen.
Ryan saw it. He saw it first.
What is it? Is it called Superman the movie 2?
No, that's just Superman 2. It's Superman the movie. That's what it's called.
All right, Mikey, where can everybody keep up with you? The artist formerly known as Mike Kalinowski.
The artist formerly known as @Mike Kalinowski is now @Mike Kalinowski _. Roxy, I'm working to the point where I'm just going to be known as _.
Ooh.
That's who I'm going to be underscore.
Ooh,
It's just
look
going to
who's
be a
coming.
dash.
It's underscore.
Like your
underscore.
Sitgo, it's just going to be dash, and everyone's going to know it's me. Watch. Mark
That
my
would be
words.
so baller.
The artist
Ryan,
formerly known as underscore.
everyone can find our amazing producer Ryan at Rye Nilsson, and you guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. I will be live in 30 minutes at 2:30 Pacific time on my own YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roxy Striar.
Who you got today?
I'm going to solo today. I like to do a Friday solo stream.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be talking about Schmodown stuff. Also, I'm going to do a little show and tell, going through some stuff in my apartment and talking about stories of where
I thought it was like a burlesque episode.
Oh, no.
I'll show and tell. A little peekaboo. Peekaboo, I see you, huh, Rox?
We'll see you guys next week for DC Movie News.
Bye, guys.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.